Hi, everyone. Welcome to the January meeting of the Abington Affordable Housing Trust Committee. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going, in the interest of getting a few things done, we're going to skip ahead to vote to accept the grant agreement for the property at 871 Plymouth Street that Habitat for Humanity is purchasing. Ellen, you've been involved in this for a while. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so it's finally happening. I'm so excited. So I asked Maureen Brown, who is the Director of Project Development over there, to just send us a quick little history of what our whole process was. And she said, I believe we started discussing this property in late '22 or '23. We are waiting for one document from the seller clarifying who has authority to sign the documents. I would like to think we should be able to close by the end of this week. Once we take title, we will begin to clean it out as there is much left behind. Our team has already been in discussions with the building department, so things should start to move along. The priority is to complete the Cohasset project and get the new owners into their homes by the summer. At some point, community engagement will begin so we can make community organizations, businesses, faith organizations, and residents aware that South Shore Habitat will be building in Abington. Fundraising efforts will continue, and there should be some signs of activity later this year. Please let the town know that we appreciate their commitment to affordable housing. This will be a great opportunity for a family in need of a decent place to call home. Thank you for your patience and support to keep this moving along. From Noreen Brown.
That's great. I'm glad we're finally getting this thing. I'm a little late to the party on this, but
Yeah,
I'm glad that.
yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's familiar with that. It's a little brown house right there.
Yes, at the corner of Plymouth and Melbourne.
Yeah. Been sitting there for a long time. So it'll be good to see a family get in there. All right, well, let's go ahead and vote on this agreement. Someone like to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to accept the grant agreement for 871 Plymouth Street.
Second?
I'll second.
So motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, I'll pass this down to be signed.
I can't sign a green pen.
So we have some other things on the agenda, but I think we'll skip to Liz Shea, and we're going to talk about the discussion of the inclusionary zoning bylaws and accessory dwelling units.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Whoops. Well, when Liz gets back, we'll talk about this.
Oh, we can read the minutes while she's
Okay,
away.
sure.
Yes,
Okay.
read the minutes.
Minutes. Thank you, Suzanne.
I'm not sure how the format you would like it. Still a work in progress.
This looks fine.
Yeah. It's big print, you know?
I like big prints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linwood is L-I-N.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, good call. AI's not
Yeah.
perfect.
Ooh,
Noreen Brown has an E on the end of Brown.
AI.
Yeah.
how would they to know,
I know.
right?
How do they know how to spell my last name?
Right?
That would be a challenge.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Second? Does anyone
All in
got a second?
favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
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 Aye, thank you. Thank you, Sue. Okay.
Right.
Now I think we can hear from Mr. Shea.
All right, so I've gave you guys all a copy of the state, the regulation the state has promulgated for the protected use accessory dwelling units. Probably lovingly called as the protected ADUs. So the state accepted public comment up until last Friday. Kevin and I met with members of the building department, the assessing department, heard feedback from the police department and the sewer department about these pending regulations, because they take effect February 2nd. We have no zoning in place to protect the town. So we're just gonna have to kind of go with it for a couple of months. And let that, unfortunately, that will land on the building department. And it will be their discretion about what happens for these 2 months. I've reached out to town council. When this goes into effect, we're supposed to have the regulations from the state. Either before or before the day of, is what I'm hearing.
February 1st.
February 1st, which is a Sunday.
Oh.
So we'll probably get them that Monday, which is the 3rd, I think. But we're supposed to have them by the time it's effective, the final draft of the regulations. We are then in a crunch, obviously, for town meeting, because there are requirements to have public hearings, to change zoning, et cetera, et cetera. So the plan right now is to have a work group, get together in February with town council, kind of hammer out some regulations that the town wants to adopt. And as soon as those are done, I will send you guys all a copy.
When is that? When are you doing that, Liz? I missed that.
February 6th. February? I believe. So that's what we're doing now. A lot of this is very much unknown, and a lot of it needs clarification. Like, can we put a protected accessory dwelling unit in North Abington with multifamily housing? So yes, if there's multifamily housing, you can put a protected accessory dwelling unit, but can we do it where those lots are so small? And right, so all of this, there's so many questions. And for any question I think of, everybody else is thinking of 10 more. So all of those actually have been sent to the state. We're asking them for clarification, and we kind of have to wait and see now. It won't be long, but we do have to wait and see. So that's all I have for you on the protected ADUs. Oh, and PS, they do not have to be affordable. And PS, the owners don't have to live there. So you could literally move out of your house and rent your house and the protected ADU. And you can ask for a second ADU with a special permit. So there's a lot in here, and it's a lot to think about. Because if you think about residential neighborhoods all kind of dropping these little ADUs in their backyards, the amount of the increase in impervious surface, water, sewer, like all of that just becomes a big snowball.
Right.
And we're not alone. So every community in the state is impacted by this.
So can they be detached?
Yes.
Oh.
They can be attached, detached.
Yep.
They can be, I mean, right now, we don't have any setbacks for them. So they could be right up against a lot.
So you have a big enough yard, you could build one of these things in your backyard.
You don't even need to have a big enough backyard,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
The rule is it's half the size of the primary dwelling or 900 square feet, whichever is smaller.
And you can add on to your house, right?
You can. You can be attached, it can be detached. Pre-existing in-laws, if they're over 900 square feet, we need some direction on do they become a protected ADU or not, or can they because they're too big? So there's a ton of questions.
And they didn't put that in there.
Of course, it'll be interesting.
No,
They
there's
just didn't.
no direction. There's a lot of definitions and, but no, yeah, it's a lot, so.
Interesting about the water and sewer capacity limitations. That's-
Right, and how do we connect those, right? Are we gonna start ripping up roads and putting new pipes in, or are we gonna connect to the pipes that are already at the houses? What if you're on septic? I mean, all of these questions, I know that the state has been meeting with the building officials because the whole building code thing is a whole nother wheelhouse.
Right.
Because if they're attached, there's the fire code stuff. They can't be on separate lots. It has to stay on the same lot. You can't separate the lots. So now we're into addresses. That's a concern the police department has. Currently, if there's an in-law on the same lot, the assessors department uses what they call a vanity address. So that's the address and then A or B or rear or whatever. But if this influx happens, as we sort of anticipate that it's going to, we're going to have to figure out a way to recognize those addresses on the front yard, so public safety will know those buildings exist. Yeah, so it's a lot, and it's going to be a very short time to get it out there. So we're going to try. Like I said, it's a very short window that we have to write them and then hold a public hearing and then, get the information out so people understand. And then once again, we have no say. The law is effective February 2nd.
I'm very glad that the town of Abington chose to create a planning department, and you and Kevin will be very busy.
Oh, we are going to be very busy. We are. And inclusionary zoning, what did you want to talk about?
Well, how it affects the housing, and as far as the mission of our committee is, as far as affordable housing.
So, I think what will be interesting to watch unfold is that MBTA Community District has a 10% inclusionary zoning piece that we adopted as part of that last year, which means 1 out of every 10 units has to be affordable. I don't think that's a bad thing, because as we get near our affordable housing numbers, this allows us to keep pace with new projects. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like the 10%, I think is not a bad idea. It's tricky. If we want to look at doing something like that, I would say we start maybe over the summer and get a consultant in here to help us navigate, like what size buildings, like how many units. If it's 4 units, does one of them have to be affordable? You know what I mean? Kind of set some parameters and talk about that. I absolutely don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Now, is there another piece to that where, like when I read about it in the news and stuff, that if they don't want to abide by, say, the 10%, then they would financially, pay the town.
They would
a
pay
certain-
into your trust.
Right.
Yep.
Right, so that's all a part of that.
That would be
also.
part of that.
Okay.
Yep, that's actually what's part of going on down at the air base, which will be interesting to see how this works, because if a developer down there, say they're working in Abington, on the Abington portion, and they decide they don't want to build an affordable unit, or they don't want a unit to be affordable, whatever it is, however they come up with it, they're going to pay the airbase affordable housing trust, not the Abington affordable housing trust.
Okay.
But it's our number that gets impacted. So, and I did ask that question before we adopted the zoning. I'm like, so why isn't it coming back here when we have to create the housing? And I kind of didn't really get an answer, so, but I did ask.
Yeah, as far as affordable housing on a former base goes and stuff like that, what would we have in the Abington portion of it? Do you have any idea?
What's it gonna look like?
Well, I mean, how many units do you suppose?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a rumor that they have a lot of interest in the commercial pieces down there, which would be fabulous, right?
That would be great for our
That would be
tax
great.
base, sure.
Yeah, it would be excellent. I mean, they were talking about for Abington mixed uses, and then as it spread further away from that center, more of just residential uses. But that centerpiece in the Abington portion was going to be mixed uses, like commercial on the bottom, residential on top.
Yeah, on the planning board, we've been talking about the master plan and, trying to expand this has nothing to do with housing, but in trying to increase the commercial industrial base. And if we can do that over there, that would be good.
That would be good. But speaking of housing, one of the things in your strategy plan that you adopted was to get a housing production plan. I'm happy to let you know we received grant funding for that. $35,000 in, I don't know, October when they told us. And we anticipate signing a memorandum of understanding with OCPC, and the rest of the funding difference will come out of our district local technical assistance money with them, so it should cost us nothing to do this at the end of the day.
Liz, why don't you explain what OCPC is?
OCPC is our regional planning agency,
Old Colony Planning
Old
Council?
Colony Planning Council. We all just refer to it as OCPC. They've hired a new gentleman over there, Jason, and housing is his wheelhouse. So I know he's already been reading the existing plan and kind of thinking about how he's gonna come at this project, so to speak. So we're meeting with him Wednesday to kind of talk about all of that. After we meet with him and get the memorandum put together and signed, I'll let you guys know, because I'm sure he's gonna want help from people in town, and you guys would be a board to go to.
I met him. I'm, of course, a retired Old Colony Planning Council employee, 30-plus years. And they had what they call their summit. It's their big annual meeting in December. And Kevin and I attended. And I got a chance to meet this new gentleman.
Jason.
Yeah.
Yep,
and,
nice guy.
Nice guy. And, it's important that we get this, housing update done. It was something that was done, 4 or 5 years ago now?
Yeah, 5, I think, at this
Yeah,
point.
2019, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also good that Laurie Muncy is back and from her bereavement leave.
Yep.
And I'm sure she'll be contributing to it.
Yeah, she's kind of overarching, managing, and
Yeah, she's
He'll
a
be-
big manager. now.
he'll be the, digging in deep.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. We've been kind of waiting for that to let the wheels on the train finally get to us on that. So that'll be good. Now I'm trying to think. Housing production plan. I think that's what I had for you guys for tonight. Oh, I wanted to give you a quick update on the Brockton Ave High Street money. Thank you very much for that funding. We did reach out to the botanist, and I'm afraid his wife's very ill, because we had sent them an email about, maybe getting started or whatever. And so our response was, when you're all set, come back.
Okay.
So it may not move quite as fast as we had hoped, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So I think
That's good.
Well, thank you, Liz.
you're
Thank you,
welcome.
Liz. Thank you very much.
You guys have any questions for me? No,
I
yes,
don't think
yes.
so.
We know where to find you.
You do know where to find me. I don't go far. So, yeah, you can take a gander at the regulations they gave us. I don't know how much they're gonna change. I know everybody and their brother was sending in comments. There's been a lot of chitter chatter about all of this. So hopefully, we'll have some news by your next meeting.
Thank you.
And once the housing production plan gets up and rolling, I'll send Jason right in your direction. And you can help him right out.
Sounds
All right,
good.
have a lovely meeting.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you, Liz.
welcome.
Night.
Good night.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the agenda. We don't have any correspondence, do we? Do we have any correspondence? No?
No.
Okay.
And I checked the mailbox, there was nothing in it other than that
Okay.
other thing that's been
All
there.
right. How is the annual town meeting report coming along?
Am I supposed to be doing something on that?
It's due January 31st. We talked about cutting and pasting something from the
Yes,
last year report.
Yes, I sent you a copy of it, but I didn't realize I was doing it. I guess there was a misunderstanding there.
Okay.
So you
Well,
want,
we could cooperate on this.
Okay.
if you want.
all right.
All right, so let's hopefully have something by the next meeting. anyway. Okay?
Well, it's due January 31st. Do we have to vote on that? I don't think we do. I
don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
no. All right, Bruce, I'll get in touch with you on that. Sorry about that.
No problem. And I don't think we have anything on the North and Center schools. I put that as an agenda item, but
So I know that somebody was interested, but didn't get in time of the deadline.
That's correct,
And are
yes.
they still interested?
They're still interested. I think they're talking with Scott and Kevin, and because it's also because of the weight, because we need to put the DPW
Right,
somewhere. So
right.
there's a lot of discussion, but nothing's been signed
Okay.
or sealed, so that's just still in discussion.
Okay.
okay. And CPA funding requests. Well, Ellen and I are both on the CPA committee, and I brought the most recent project request for eligibility dated 12/3/24. And on the Affordable Housing Trust, it's $250,000, $250,000. Now, I know that the committee has voted on the eligibility application, which we voted it was eligible for. And our next meeting, which I think is the 21st.
Next Tuesday, a week
Yeah.
from tomorrow.
We'll vote on the funding for each of the applications and things like that. So we'll know, again, by our next meeting, how much money the CPA committee is going to vote. And
Okay.
I'll try to be objective, and Ellen will try to be objective on this vote. You know how I should. Okay. Is there any other business? Okay.
I don't have
One thing I wanted, I should have done this at the beginning of the meeting, should have had a moment of silence. We lost, Abington lost a great town servant, retired Abington Fire Chief Wallace Hapow recently. And I know his services and things like that are going to be this week. And it's Pam's father-in-law. And so if we could just have a moment of silence for Hapow. Okay. All right, thank you, everyone. Is there anything else we need to talk about tonight?
I don't think so. Maybe for next time, I know we're getting the CPA funding and, putting money towards Plymouth Street. Maybe there are some other programs too we could look at. I could check with some of the banks in the area and see if they have like home.
Yeah, Abington
first-time
Bank
home
had,
buyer programs. It might be something, that they could have.
now that Abington Bank is North Shore Bank,
Yeah.
I don't know if anything's changed in that regard, but they did have some first-time home buyers programs.
Yeah, and I don't know how that works with like our committee, if we offer, even money to, you can, buy points and get interest rates reduced. I don't know if it's like a lottery type thing, or it's, how the banks qualify for something like that.
Yeah,
I can ask them the next time I'm in,
And then the other banks, Rockland Trust,
Yeah, Rockland Trust. Santander.
Santander.
Harbor One.
Harbor One.
But I can see what they've got for programs and, it just might be another direction that we could go in.
yep.
Yeah, it's good. So the date of our next meeting is,
And we've got it.
February 10th,
all right,
5 o'clock.
and we'll see if they want to have it in this room so we can be on television, or to make sure we check this. This was changed for the event of us being on television, so I rewrote the agenda and stuff like that. But anyway,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
make the motion to adjourn.
My second.
Second it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That close.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
26.
Pretty good.